Morning. Let's take a sunrise shot, shall we? Okay, so I have a confession to make. My alarm didn't go off this morning and I didn't get down here at the time I was supposed to get down here. Poor old Jed, who's in the bushes down there, look, somewhere there, was down here very early and I didn't make it. That's my bad. I apologise, Jed. Terrible, absolutely terrible form. But today's about how to predict where the sun's going to rise, because you have to understand the terrain you're going to be in. Now, we're on a hill. There's a church there, that's St Hubert's Church, and this hill is obviously going to go up and over, and when we predict where the sun's going to rise, we're predicting on like a 2D surface, so we're not going to predict exactly where it's going to rise, but we're going to guess that if we're on a hill like this, instead of it rising over there, which this morning on the apps would say it is, because the horizon is pretty much underneath this hill, it is going to rise over there. But as it comes up and tracks across, we're now getting the sunrise behind the church. I mean, you can see the church there. I'll move over ever so slightly. You can see it a little bit better. Yeah, the sun is rising behind the church. We've got some nice shots. I got down here just in time, thankfully, to get those shots. But you have to remember that although you're going to check all the apps, do all your research, the sun isn't always going to rise where you think it's going to rise, especially if you've got terrain like we have in the south of England, which is very hilly. You have to understand that and predict that a little bit better. So I can show you on the graphics as well. I'm sure I'll put the graphics of the apps that I use up. From where we're stood now, the sun literally rose on the horizon somewhere over there. But as it comes up and tracks, it tracks across the sky. See, throughout the day it tracks across the sky that way. It goes up around, certainly in the northern hemisphere in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else in the world. I don't understand the science. But it comes up and tracks a bit further across, so we could almost predict where to stand, even though we're not getting the actual sunrise. We had to wait. Well, I didn't get down here for about half an hour after sunrise because I'm an idiot. And by the time I got down here, we just about got some nice shots of the sun rising behind the church. You just have to be aware of your terrain, which often catches people out. I see people going to do shoots and completely miss the sunrise because they're in completely the wrong location. You have to understand your terrain and where you're going to be stood at the time the sun is rising, but also at the time the sun is going to peek over the hills that you're currently at. We're going to walk up to the church and go around the other side. We've done some shots from down, a bit further down the bottom, which are the kind of traditional shots people get from this location. But we're going to try and swap things up, try and get some images that are slightly different to everyone else. You know that my photography is a little bit like that. We see what other people have done. It's like anything, you know, we stand on the shoulders of those that have come before us, but we try and make it our own. We're not here to copy, we're here to find a shot that's different. Let's carry on and we'll do that. Here's some pictures I just took, by the way. Okay, so I'm just waiting for a shot that I've seen. Actually, we're up near the church, just getting a bit of shade there. I'm just waiting for the sun to track a little bit further, so I'm actually in shade down here. I want to get the edge of this kind of, I don't know, there's flowers and stuff, and I want to get the edge of that and a bit of the green on there, and the church is going to look quite nice. But before I do, I want to say hello to my niece, Lily. Lily is with us at the moment for a week, and she wanted to come this morning, and sadly she couldn't make it because she was asleep. So what are you going to do? You're asleep. To be fair, I nearly missed it, so it's not just Lily's fault. So yeah, hello to Lily, and can I get a request from you guys just in the comments? Say hello to Lily, because I know it mean a lot to her to get a lot of hellos in the comments. That'd be awesome. Cheers, guys. Okay, so while I wait, a couple of things to think about. Obviously, early morning, make sure your alarm is set properly and you get up. That's the important thing. But remember, the sun does rise in the east, but it doesn't rise directly east. Throughout the year, it rises in different locations. So use the apps, predict where it's going to rise, and then look at the terrain you're going to be looking at. So there are apps out there for that. I mean, I knew the place anyway. I knew it was on a hill, so I knew that even though the sun was going to rise kind of northeast rather than directly east, we could be stood somewhere down here. Obviously, you get to a location, It's never exactly right when you have to predict it like this. But I knew it was going to rise a bit further northeast than what I expected, but it was going to track across the sky as it come up. So I knew by the time we got here, and I'm stood in the middle of the way now, look, and the sun is still tracking. It's behind my head at the moment, so it's up here, but it's still tracking across the sky. It's going to come across here, so I could still stand at the bottom of this thing and get what you would consider to be a sunrise. You just have to understand your terrain. It's something people forget. They go to a place like Durdle Door and they're stood there waiting for sunrise. And of course, Durdle Door is all hilly. You've got to wait another 20 minutes because by the time the sun does actually have a sunrise on the horizon, it then has to track across the sky and up. So you can see it above the hillsides. So that's one thing people forget. You know, they get down there for you know, this time of year, the sun's rising at 5 o'clock in the morning. They get down there that early, and then they're wondering why they can't see the sun at 5 o'clock. Because the sun rises on the horizon, right? That's where that's where everything tells you the sun is rising. That's the risen time at the horizon from that particular point on the earth. But if you've got a hill in front of you and you're taking a picture of something on top of the hill, you have to wait. The sun is going to rise on the horizon through the hill and track up. It's something people forget. So just have to realise that, and just to understand the terrain you're going to be shooting in when you get to your location. If there's a hillside and that hillside is to the east of you, and that's what you're shooting, you want to get a sunrise, you have to wait and understand that the sun is going to rise a bit further south than you think it's going to. It makes sense when you look at the apps and you understand when you get to a location. It takes a couple of attempts for some people, but just have to realise your terrain. So we've had a really good day. I mean, I've been here literally 15-20 minutes tops, and I've already got some really nice shots. I know the shot I want to get. I'm just literally waiting for the sun to go further behind the building, because currently it's not as far behind the building. It's currently behind the building there, but I need it to be behind the building when I'm stood here. I've only got to wait another 5 minutes or so. It's not difficult to understand that. The sun is still going up, but it's also going round to the sort of south. So it's sort of tracking across the sky that way. And it won't take long. The sun will be behind the building shortly, and I'll get the shot I want, which is actually from down here. I want to get that kind of shot that's going to go through there, so I'm going to have a little bit of framing from the plant and wildlife rubbish this side. I don't know, whatever. But that's going to frame the side of the building quite nicely, hopefully. And if that came out all right, here's that picture. See you in a bit. Okay, you might notice I'm in a slightly different location than I was before, and that's because we're actually over the other hill. There is the church there, and we've actually come over the other side, so we wanted to get a shot from the other side. Again, it's about taking your photography to another level. Try and get something that someone else hasn't actually got yet. So we're obviously using a location that people have shot in before. We're taking ideas from other people, but we're making it our own. And that's what landscape photography is all about. And we've trekked up great big hill up here, all the way up the side here, and then up there even a bit further, and tired already. You probably noticed Jed got up the hill a bit quicker than I did. He's a bit fit than I am, but this is a very good shot, and not particularly at this moment in time. I like the shot. I'm going to show you the shot in a second. I am going to edit it, but I'm also going to come back when the sun is potentially setting in the afternoon. It won't be setting because, again, we're on a hill. You have to remember your terrain. If you come back up here at sunset, the sun is already down the other side of the hill because it's at the horizon. It's not here, so it'll be down the other side of the hill. It won't be light in this. But if the sun in the afternoon, sort of this time of year, is sort of 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, the sun is going to be in the sky over here, lighting our subject. It'd be lighting it. It'd be like we've got the church in the studio. We're putting a light on it from the front. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous. We won't get the harsh shadow that we currently have at the front. We do have a bit of a leading line going up to the church, which is the pathway from here. You can see it quite well. I don't know if you can see it there going up to the church. That's the pathway going up to the church. It's quite wide, so even from over here it's quite big. We've also got a very harsh shadow in front of the church this side. That's because the sun is the other side of the church, lighting it from the other side. We don't want that. So what we want is actually either a cloudy day or sun over here, so we can light it from this side. And I think that's going to be an absolute beauty of a shot, absolutely fantastic shot. So I'll be coming back I may also do some photo walks from up here, so we'll be taking people up to the church and then up around here, and we get some shots from up here too. So if you're local to me in Portsmouth or on the south coast of the UK, look out for those on my websites. Next week I am in studio with Miss Nancy. That is going to be an incredible day. I'm going to get a bit of video of that too, so look out for that. There'll be a video of that behind the scenes shoot with Miss Nancy in studio. We're doing everything from fashion up to lingerie. So if you're interested in joining me on that workshop, there is a link in the description of this video, or go to my website, look at the portrait link on the workshop side of the website, and yeah, join me on there. That's going to be an incredible day. Miss Nancy is a fantastic model. She's very professional, and we're going to get some absolutely incredible shots. I'm going to show you how to set up lighting in a studio and pose a subject, because posing a subject in a landscape or in a location such as even this is incredibly different to posing someone inside a studio. If you're ever going to do some studio work, this would be a great, fantastic beginner workshop for you. So look forward to seeing some of you. I know I've got quite a few people on it already. There is still space for more. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me on this one. Again, remember to set your alarm properly, because I had my alarm set but I didn't have it set for the right day, so it's going to go off on Monday. Not today, unfortunately, because I'm an idiot. But I still managed to get down here for the sunrise behind the church. Remember what we're talking about here. We're talking about the sunrise. The sunrise on the Alps is on the horizon. If you're going to be shooting a subject that's on top of a hillside, the sun then has to come up and track across the sky. So you have to work out where your sun's going to be. You have to predict that yourself. But it's certainly not going to be at sunrise. And we were still shooting stuff behind the church, the sun behind the church, for an hour afterwards. I mean, sunrise this morning was at 5:10. We were still shooting the church the other side at 6:20 this morning. So even for a whole hour, we had loads and loads of time. I managed to get down here just in time to catch Jed coming back down the hill. You'll see those shots, or you might have already seen them already. And I like those shots really nicely. But that is the sun pretty much cresting above the hill. So for us, that was our kind of sunrise, and that was at about 5:45, 5:50. That was a good half hour after the actual sunrise. So remember, you got to predict it. Remember your terrain. If you're going to be going to a location, do some research. If you get down there and you're like, where's the sun? It's probably because you're shooting towards the hill, east. Remember, from different times of the year, the sun will this time of year, sun's going to rise up over there. Due east is there. The sun will rise up over there this time of year, and throughout the year into the winter, the sun will start rising up over there, because it just crests across the sky in a shorter arc. If that makes any sense. Okay, use the apps. That's your best bet. Use the apps and then predict from your terrain. Jed, cheers, mate. Thanks for today.
No worries, mate.
We're going to trek back down the hill in a second, and I've got a coffee to wake me up. Guys, take it easy. I'll see you soon. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like this video if you can, and say hello to my niece Lily in the comments if you can as well. That'd be awesome. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy. Bye. Hi, I'm Andy, and I'm here to tell you about my new online landscape photography academy. It's not your traditional online photography course, it's also a mentorship program. Many of you most likely know me from my YouTube channel, and if you enjoy my process of getting an awesome image from the landscape around me, you can learn to do that too. So, how does it work? After signing up for the Landscape Academy, you will immediately receive access to all lectures taking you through every aspect of landscape photography. From beginner courses through to intermediate and onto the more advanced photographic techniques. At the end of each lecture, you'll be provided an assessment to progress you through the steps of creating an appealing image from beginning to end. After submitting each assignment, you will receive a handcrafted personal feedback video on your progress, giving you actionable steps to take your work to the next level. These mentorship sessions continue as you build your skill set from beginner to advanced landscape photography. By the time you finish the course, you will have hours of personal video feedback crafted especially for you. Additionally, the entire Landscape Academy is self-paced and you have a lifetime access to all of the content. So there's no need to worry about deadlines or losing access to the content after an arbitrary amount of time.
You may want to skip the Beginner 1 course if you have a basic understanding of photography and a good grasp of camera settings. But if you're an absolute beginner, fear not, this course is designed to get you started from scratch. If you want to sign up and get more information, just click the link below or check out the Academy link on my website.